Yeah, it was a hard-fought game, hard-fought win. Seton Hall's always going to be prepared, and I thought they were defensively, or offensively for us. Nothing came easy, or very little came easy. I thought they did a good job, playing different people with different matchups and keeping us off balance that way. I thought it was hard to kind of know what to run, and foul trouble was a little bit of an issue today with more so. But I thought we did a nice job of kind of just staying the course, and got to fix that third quarter thing because I felt we were in just second straight game. We were kind of in pretty good shape at halftime and just didn't do the first half of that third quarter. So, but yeah, it's a good win against a good team, and you don't love everything about it, but you love that we had to grind it out and that we won the game really on the defensive end.
Open the floor to questions for the student athletes.
We're going to pick out within 2 in the third quarter, and you and Emma hit big buckets to help stretch it back out to a relatively comfortable standard. What happened there offensively down the stretch that allowed you guys to make some plays to stabilize things?
I think we didn't really do anything a whole lot different. I think we got pretty good looks throughout the whole game, like in-to-out actions, and I feel like that's just what we do. I don't think we tried to do anything different. The ball just went in that time.
You really relied on defense, especially that fourth quarter. I think they had 2 points up until like 20 seconds left in the quarter. What did you guys feel like you did so well defensively? I know they were like 0 of 14 from the field at one point.
Yeah, we definitely relied on our defense, like you said, but I think that we can switch with a lot of girls on our team, so that kind of helped us muck it up a little bit more for them. And we went into 15 a little bit where anybody can kind of switch at either action. So just being that flexible and athletic definitely helped us kind of lock them down.
We were like aggressive too in those actions. I think in the first half they kind of got downhill on us, and we were helping late and just like not doing what we wanted to going into that, but we were the aggressor in the fourth quarter defensively.
Mallory, there was a moment where you got switched on to 3 straight ball handlers, ended up with a block and a steal. Talk about like how big that moment in the game was and how you were able to stay locked in for the full 24 minutes of play.
Yeah, guarding ball handlers is tricky because usually they're smaller, maybe faster. But don't ever count me out. I like to come from behind, so it's fun. A block is a good energy play, I think, for myself and the team, so it's definitely fun.
What was spark was that sequence where she blocked the shot, almost saved it inbounds, deflected the inbounds pass, stole it herself. Like that seemed like where the fourth quarter turned just permanently in your favor.
Yeah, Mal made those plays late, or it was getting late, and then when I looked up at the clock, I felt like it was comfortable if we could just take care of the pressure and handle the ball, but that's why Mal's awesome out there.
Anything further for the student athletes?
You got a rematch with Marquette coming up in a few days. I guess how much are you guys kind of looking forward to seeing them again?
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun game to have at our place now, and we're definitely, we take one game at a time, but this game on the calendar is something that we are looking forward to and kind of get ready for them in the gym the next few days, and we'll be ready.
It's been 3 straight games for you, Morgan, now that you've seen the shots go in after a little bit of a slow start to conference play. How good does it feel to see those shots fall?
Oh, it helps. I'm going to take the shots either way. And, it's good. It helps the team. It helps me get going. It helps open things up for others as well. So I'm just trying to keep it rolling.
Thank you, guys.
It's actually because Gene called me out for not having a 20-point game in a few months.
Good job, Gene. See you guys.
Do what I can to help.
questions for Coach Flanery?
You know, I guess, Azana kind of got hers. She didn't go off, but she got hers. How, when you look at the way the game shakes out, then how impactful do you feel like Molly's defense on Micah was, and especially Mallory switching onto her, and just I think Morgan blocked her at the rim. Just the way you guys kind of bottled her up and didn't let both of them go off.
Yeah, I mean, Gray had their first 5 points, I think, and then didn't, would she have one more field goal? So, we did a good job on her. We weren't perfect. We gave her a couple times where I thought we relaxed and gave her a little bit better look than we wanted to. But, yeah, that was huge because if they can get both of those going, it's a lot harder to beat them because I thought, defensively and they run their stuff. I mean, they run good stuff and they put you in some tough spots. And, again, like a lot of teams in our league, they play slow enough that you just can't create the separation to, it's hard to get up 12 or 15, because of the pace, and Wright does a good job of that. But yeah, I thought that was huge. We switched a lot more than we normally would just because of how dangerous we felt like Gray is, and to your point, just we felt like if we could take her out a little bit, then they rely on Baines making one-on-one plays more, and she did, but she also didn't, like you said, didn't go off. She had a good game, but not a game where she just went wild. So just shutting her down was big.
Considering the circumstances where it was a single-digit game throughout the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
Was that one of your better defensive quarters you played in a while?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought the pace allowed that. I mean, both teams got tired. They had their post rotation was shorter based on a couple injuries, and with Kennedy and Keani out today, I thought, first of all, Michaela and Brittany did a really good job in the first half, but I felt like the game kind of slowed down because both teams were not as deep as they normally are. But yeah, our defense won us the game because we got a little sloppy. We had some turnovers. A couple bad turnovers there in the fourth quarter, and if we don't, so if we hadn't guarded as well, I mean, that game easily could have been a 50-50 game.
When you look at now back-to-back games where maybe just, I don't know, execution with a big lead to stretch from 12 to maybe 18 or 20 and feel
Yeah.
more comfortable about where you're at, like what did you think were falling short once you guys got the double-digit lead in both those games, how did you put them back together?
I didn't think we passed the ball nearly as well as we needed to today. I thought there were possessions where we were, I just thought I didn't think we connected passes as much as we did. I did like that we threw the ball to the mid-post more, and we've been working on that, and playing through Emma and Morgan a little bit more in the post to mid-post, but yeah, I thought we missed several plays, in the first half coming out of the press, and we work a lot on that. But I was less impressed with our passing than I wanted to be because I felt like we said you're going to have to reverse the ball to have some success, but yeah, I thought we didn't get enough easy baskets out of being I know we're a low turnover team, but we need to pass it a little bit better. But that's just such a hard thing to work on. I think we're a good passing team, but not as good as I'd like to be.
With Marquette coming into town, just how important is it to have DJ Sokol Arena packed out on Wednesday and have that support behind you?
Yeah, I'd love to see a great crowd. I mean, I know the weather is better to the point where hopefully people aren't nervous to get out, and and we play 6:00 games, which is I like. And Marquette, I know their conference record isn't what you might think it would be, but you have to look at who they've played, and they probably have the toughest January of any team schedule-wise. Their February is much different, so we need to beat them to stay ahead of them in the race, and they're a really good team. They'll be in the NCAA tournament, so and they're they're good in a lot of areas, and so it'll be it'll be fun. I mean, we usually play at least one, if not two, really close games with them every year, and we had a close one up there, and I would imagine Wednesday will be close. So anything we can get from the crowd, and I thought the crowd was really good today. The fourth quarter, unfortunately, we didn't give them quite enough to cheer about, other than making and missing some free throws. But yeah, I think hopefully it'll be a big advantage to us.
Where do you feel like you're different as a team now than you were last month when you saw Marquette up there?
Well, I would have said, the problem is we've changed just a little bit with Kiani's injury, and Kennedy just didn't feel well today. She tried to go, but I would have said more just their experience and just kind of figuring out how to play Mal just a little bit more. I mean, I think Mal can be more effective offensively the more looks that she's seen in terms of how people guard her. And then Jamie, so it's not that core four that has started so much. But yeah, I mean, I think once you get to this point in the year, you do have more reference points defensively. So hopefully, I think that in late January to February, especially that second time around, usually the game is a little bit lower scoring than it is the first time, because even though we as coaches do a lot of scouting, it's still a different game for the players, and but I do think we can win ugly, maybe better than we could earlier. I think we showed we could do that some early in the year, but I feel like we're more adept at that now, as far as just being able to grind out a win with the way we did today without making as many shots as we'd like.
Are you different offensively to a degree, considering how much you played through your hybrids in the mid-post compared to the last time you played them when it was kind of a jump shot contest?
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. We just said a couple of weeks ago, we said we have to throw, even if it's just a form of ball movement, we have to throw the ball inside more to those two, and even to Mal occasionally, just to give team. It's just different when the ball goes inside, and defenses, it's a different look that you give defense, and so I do feel good about that. And yeah, I think that's probably an area that we've identified as we need to get better, and we've made a little bit of progress, but we need to keep doing that. I mean, we weren't quite as efficient as I'd like to see us from the mid post, even on kickouts, but it's something where if we're going to be as good as we want to be, it has to be a strength, because Morgan and Emma are too talented not to get touches just outside the three.
First quarter, you had 4 offensive rebounds to their 1. Rest of the way, it was 12-6 in their favor. What do you think changed in that first quarter?
Yeah, the big thing is we have to draw some charges. I mean, we drew nothing against Georgetown and nothing tonight or today. And when the ball gets downhill and goes to the rim, you're underneath the basket trying to rebound, and that was a little bit the case against Georgetown. I felt like that was a little bit the case today, and so we've got to step in there. I mean, Jamie's obviously, Haran is good at that and is willing to do that, but we have to have other people who are willing to do that. And that was the negative that I talked about in the post game today, is like that's a big factor in why we haven't been as good a rebounding team, is that we're bailing out at the last minute, and it shouldn't be the case. I mean, they changed the charge rule so you can draw a charge inside the restricted area in women's basketball, but we, in watching the Georgetown film, we didn't have, we had 3 chances, and then that changes the way teams attack the rim. So it's about rebounding, but it's also about letting the ball get to the rim without, and throwing my hands and trying to block a shot versus drawing a charge. And Mal can block shots, but we don't. We need to have some other people fall.
Because of your depth, Lauren and Maly both had to play the full 40. What did you think out of their performance today, especially given the length they had to go?
Yeah, I mean, they gutted it out. I mean, the fourth quarter wasn't either of their finest hours. I mean, as far as, but I also think part of that was, like you said, with the number of minutes that but over the body of the game, I thought they were super impactful. But, Lauren wasn't efficient in the fourth quarter, and Maly had a couple turnovers that we got to, but again, part of that is they had to play a little bit more. And, I wanted to play Brittany and Michaela in the second half, but that was where the start of the third quarter, I felt like, made it a little bit more difficult to put them in. I thought they did a good job in the first half, and had this third quarter gotten off to a better start instead of going from 9 down to 4 or 5. Those first 5 minutes, if you're still at 9 or if you're at 10 or 11, I would have been more willing to play those guys because I think they're close. They're close to ready. I mean, you guys see it. They're close to ready. They did some good things, but sometimes you just stay with what you trust. But I thought those two did a good job, but I thought they were tired late and couldn't necessarily make the plays that we're going to maybe need them to make.
You said Kennedy almost gave it a go. How close was that? Like, how is she feeling?
I don't know. She was, yeah, I mean, I didn't find out till between 9:30 and 9:45 that she wasn't feeling well, and then she tried to warm up and didn't feel well. I mean, it wasn't anything. I mean, she practiced yesterday, and she didn't look good. So hopefully it's a 1 or 2 day thing at the most. We got a reasonably quick turnaround. So.
Anything further for Coach Flanery?
Obviously, part of this is going to get fixed when Kennedy comes back, but how do you get more production out of players who aren't Lauren, Morgan, and Emma?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought Maly was solid, but there were a couple times where I think she's got to go hunt a shot a little bit because Lauren's going to get, between Maly and Lauren's going to get the better defender usually. So we got to figure out a way a little bit to maybe get her going a little bit. I mean, she didn't take a 3 today, did she? I don't think.
No.
And when you're shooting what she is from the 3, we probably got to put the ball in her hands a little bit. But yeah, we're obviously not very deep right now. So hopefully Kennedy's back by Wednesday. And again, that isn't to say that Brittany and Michaela can't help us, because I think they can.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.